welcome to this very special God of War Ragnarok spoiler/chat podcast. Joining me, Oodles, today is Gadget.
Hello.
And Candy.
Hello.
As the only people of the team to have finished the game.
And only just as well.
Literally.
I think Biggie hasn't even started it.
No, he's too busy winning other things.
He's too busy playing Battlefield 2042, according to his fucking PlayStation thing.
Yes. Yeah, he hates it. It's a terrible game. But yes, with what we're going to do, we're going to give you... There's not going to be a spoiler warning just yet. We're going to put that in slightly. We're going to have some spoiler-free discussions about the game. And then we're going to deep dive into it for an hour or so, maybe even a bit longer, depending on how long we can stay awake. So, if you've stumbled upon this and don't know what it is, God of War Ragnarok is an action-adventure game developed by Sony Santa Monica Studios. It was released worldwide on November the 9th, 2022, for the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5, which, funnily enough, makes it the first cross-gen release in the God of War series, and it is the 9th installment in the series, and the 9th chronologically as well, and it's obviously the sequel to 2018's reboot/reimagining God of War. Weird that we are doing a spoiler cast for a 9th installment of a game.
Yeah, I think for a lot of people, though, it'll be their second game in the series. Plus, God of 4, as I used to call it for a long time, that was very much a reboot, even though it kind of linked in with the past, like with the PS2 and PS3 games. It kind of wasn't really. It didn't have that much to do with it, apart from one epic reveal, which I fucking loved, but the rest of the game didn't care about what he did.
Yeah, you could have not played them.
Nah, yeah, exactly. I think they did well for writing it in a way that it respected those previous games without needing to, like, they wrote it for a new audience, and it was great.
Yes.
Me, for example, I hadn't played them.
Have you not?
Mm-mm.
Oh, well, there you go.
I did a quick history of Kratos before I started 2018. But,
there's tits in the older games.
Yeah, lots of shagging.
Well, maybe I'll go back then.
Lots of shagging.
Plenty of shagging. Kratos used to be a top shagger.
It's literally a mini game where you've got to knock a statue off a bedpost, a bedside table.
I'm in.
That's not even a lie. But let's get into our little reactions from, and I don't mean our first impressions, I mean our overall impressions without spoiling it, because we'll do a little 10 minutes chat on this, and then people that have not played it can piss off. So, Candy, as the freshest person to have completed this, what do you think of God of War Ragnarok without spoiling?
I thought it was much more epic than 2018. I thought it was possibly a little bit bloated, but not by much. I really enjoyed it. Like I said before in Modern Escapism, I think it is, you would need really to have played 2018. It's not one that you can get.
Absolutely a sequel.
Yeah, absolutely. Like literally, the last scene of the first game becomes the first scene of the next game. So yeah, I loved it. I think I would struggle to compare the two in terms of which one I liked more. I think maybe with a little bit of hindsight, it will be easier. I think maybe I liked 2018 just a tiny bit more, but I wouldn't like to put them beside each other.
You can't choose between your children, can you?
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. I think both of them had points for them and against them. But I think maybe just by a hair, I preferred 2018.
Yeah. That's cool. Gadget, what do you think? What did you think?
Yeah, I think that's fair. Like, I loved the game, but I have some criticisms of it. I do think I preferred 2018's a bit more, but 2018 was very much a prologue to this. It's they're almost like they're kind of one very big game together.
Yeah.
I could see Sony Santa Monica doing what Naughty Dog did and like re-up in God of War 2018 for PS5.
Yeah.
Like with the Ragnarok engine and just having the two of them kind of link into each other in one really fucking big story.
2-disc special or something like that.
So yeah, something ridiculous like that. 400 gig download or something. But I mean, in terms of narrative, in terms of the presentation of it, I absolutely adored it. I think technically, it's one of the most brilliant PlayStation console, not even PlayStation, the console games ever done.
Yeah.
Like, it's absolute wizardry what Santa Monica.
It's majestic, isn't
the
it?
Tech, even down to the finer points. Like obviously the previous game was great for storytelling, which is ironic considering the first 3 games were not good for storytelling. It was just an angry Kratos.
You got the story at the beginning and the story at the end.
Yeah, no, it happened in the middle other than death. But the way the story plays out here and the way they tell the story is fantastic. Even down to kind of like facial animations. Like I've talked about it a few times on the main podcast, but I absolutely adore the facial animations.
Yeah.
Everything is so lush and vibrant and detailed. There's moments where you can see kind of characters kind of chewing their inner cheek when they're trying to think of something to say.
And sweating.
That's fucking nuts.
Yeah. It's just those micro expressions, isn't it? It's incredible.
It's also incredible if you go back and watch a video of 2018, you can see how far the tech's come on in 4 years.
Yeah, there's one scene as well where Gadget, oh, I call it Kratos, but you'll take that.
Do you see all bald men the same?
Yeah, I'm bald blind. Kratos, he flares his nostrils and the rattle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck is that? Incredible.
It's like really like kind of up the standard for what a AAA game should do now. It's not enough just to have a pretty world. You have to get those details right if you want to tell a convincing story in a AAA space. Like, Ubisoft aren't going to do anything like this for the next Assassin's Creed, other that's not going to happen.
No,
they can't hold plastic compared to this.
Every tree's identical. But yeah. I mirror a lot what you guys say, but honestly, I think this is better than 2018. Upon reflection, it's weird though, because when I played 2018, I become a dad again. Not too much time after, so I really was relating to Kratos in that. And in this one, this is about how the fuck do you carry on in life when you feel like you've got nothing left. And that's how I feel like at the moment. So I related to that. Even I was just like, oh my God, this muscly hunk of a man is me in a real man's body. And I don't know. I feel like if to do another one, what's it going to be then? Do you know what I mean? Am I going to relate to that? Even there's something about it. The gameplay's almost the same. It's not massively different. It's got more to it, but it's not massively different.
I think that's where my main criticism comes in. We'll get into it properly in the spoiler bit, but I think there was a lot of the gameplay sections kind of dragged the game down for me.
This is more of a game than the last game.
Yeah, it's weird because my main criticism of 2018 was you're on a journey, but there wasn't really kind of a baddie or a final boss.
Yeah, there was no emphasis to keep pushing on, was there?
No, it was just pushing on for grief. Whereas this one, there is a baddie, but it kind of doesn't feel like it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. But yeah, I still think ultimately this is the better game, and it's set such a standard. And I don't mean just graphically. I mean as a package, as a AAA package. Everything that comes out AAA is going to be held against this, especially single player games. And they've gone, they did it then. Why can't you do it now? Like Callisto Protocol's a very good example.
Yeah.
Like,
well, even playing 2018. I played 2018 directly before this one. I played it before, but I wanted to remind myself.
Yeah, me too.
And even then, playing 2018 on a
still holds up.
PS5, it still felt like one of the best PS5 games I've played.
Yeah. They did
like,
up-res it, didn't they? Like they did it a 60 FPS version on PS5, didn't they?
Oh, buttery smooth.
Oh, so smooth. But yes, now, dear listener, I'm assuming you guys that are listening have completed this game because the spoiler wall has been shifted. It's disappeared. We are going full in now. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to read off some points I've got here. I've got a full story synopsis here. I will probably skip over some stuff, but feel free to jump in, guys, and we'll just chat about favourite moments and things like that. So, this game, several years have passed since the conclusion of 2018's God of War, which again surprised me straight away. Didn't think it'd be several years, but there we have it. And
I think they kind of had to because Sonny, the kid who plays Atreus,
he was older,
grew up.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Because I think he was 12 when he played Atreus first. He was 13 by the time the game came out, And they didn't start doing kind of motion capture and voice stuff until 2019. So he was already kind of 14. So he's at the point where his voice is about to drop and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that had to make Atreus older.
Absolutely. And so what fascinates me is a single line that Mimir says in the first game has come to pass. Fimbulwinter has kicked in. This was not a massive story beat in the last game because I'd only just played it. Obviously, they knew that if they killed Balder in the last game, that Fimbulwinter could come. It's come. It's happened. Fimbulwinter means it's like Everwinter or something like that. I think it does anyway, or Forever Frost or something like that. And it also signals that Ragnarok, the final battle of the 9 realms that will lead to the destruction of Asgard and the death of the gods, is coming. Now, we knew the game was called God of War Ragnarok. Did you expect to see Ragnarok in this game?
I wasn't thinking. So we're in spoilers now. So
Yeah, we are in spoilers.
So I wasn't expecting Ragnarok to be a physical
Manifestation.
being. I thought it was an event rather than.
Yeah.
Yes, me too. But yeah,
I did like the process of Ragnarok and the whole.
I did.
Getting him involved, and when he did appear and then did nothing.
Yeah.
That was
waste of time.
Yeah.
So, unsurprisingly, Kratos, our hero and Gadget lookalike, wants nothing to do with it. He's had enough. Following his dear departed wife Faye's lead, he has created protection wards around his home, where he lives in his forest, to ward off Odin and rest of the gods and other people and baddies, as well as Freya, one of the allies in the first game, then becomes enemy. It's not gone over well with her, has it? Where he killed her son. It's not gone over well at all. Even though
Balder was a dick.
He was snapping her neck. He was choking her out. But yeah, still, she's been plaguing the lads for what seems to be a while now, because when you first start the game, you go on a toboggan, a little sleigh ride, don't you? And they're like, oh, there she is, as if they've seen her 400 times.
Yeah.
Oh, she's going to be angry again. And that is quite a fun launch to the game. If you remember the first one, you started you're just in a boat, aren't you?
Yeah. Yeah, the last one starts out very quietly, and this is just kind of like straight.
Here we go.
Oh yeah. Quite a difficult battle. Right within the first hour.
Oh god, yeah. So yeah, then we already get his first emotional beat because Atreus's poor beloved dog Fenrir passes away, and something strange happens. A little mystical wisp of magic comes out of Fenrir, doesn't it? And we don't know what happens about that until later on.
Yeah, was not prepared for that. That needed a warning.
Yeah,
that already it just shows in that first 10 minutes. The emotions we're going to go through. I feel like it's a good parallel to the game in general, that first 10 minutes. Because
absolutely, yeah.
After this, still to me, my favourite scene in the entire game happens. Oh, no. Before this, they have a little argument. Atreus runs off, and Kratos tries to find him with Mimir. Mimir is his little headless...
bodiless head.
Yeah, bodiless head. He's like a platonic life mate for Kratos now. They're like two dads, aren't they?
Yeah.
Two dads and the son. And they go looking for Atreus. Turns out Atreus is an Animorph from the famous books Animorphs. He's a bear. He's an absolute bear. Which we knew that in mythology, because Atreus, also called Loki can shapeshift.
He can.
And I did not expect this bear to be Loki, because it's got a different name, hasn't it? When you fight the boss.
Does it actually have a name? I thought it was
just... I didn't notice.
No, it has a name like Bjorn or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Just a random name, and I'm wailing to fuck on this bear, mate. I'm ready to fucking pull his jaw open, and we get the surprise there. It's Atreus. It's Atreus all along. In a little weird daze. He didn't know he'd done it, did he? He can't control his powers yet. And then we go back home. We go back home.
There was actually, going back to that before you move on, there was actually a line in 2018 where Atreus has just discovered that he's a god.
Can I turn into animals?
Yeah, exactly. So there was a bit of foreshadowing there. In fact, everything that happened in Ragnarok was explained. Like it set out exactly what was going to happen.
Complete prophecy, no surprises.
Yeah.
It still manages to be an amazing game. But yeah, the lads go back home, have a little kip, and then the ending to the last game starts. Big thunderstorm. Who's at the door? It's Thor. Oh my God. What do you think to Thor? How he looks, how he acts, how he speaks? Let's get some character analysis here, guys. What do you think?
Oh, he was...
I'd have put a towel under Pip.
Same.
Yeah, man's a bear,
he was so
isn't
much bigger than I expected. There's the one shot right at the beginning, and the camera's kind of behind Thor, and you're just looking down on Kratos, and he looks tiny. Thor is just
he is
absolute
a clear 2 foot
unit.
taller than him. Easy.
Yeah. Oh, and the rest.
Yeah.
And how Kratos is 6'5" at least.
Yeah, easy.
Probably more. So yeah. Absolutely.
Do you know what fascinates me about Thor is straight away you get his character developments. He's come in, he looks half cut already. He's sat down. Yep. He's got a bloated alcoholic's belly.
Yep.
But he is muscly. He looks like a man that used to look amazing. Do you know what I mean? He's let himself go. His beard's like. Did you notice? I mean, I don't know if you noticed these details. I played it twice, obviously, because I'm a weirdo. If you notice, if you look at his braids on his beard and stuff, it's all matted and like hanging off, like he's not put his bobbles in. He doesn't care anymore. He stopped brushing his hair. Yeah. That's a man that's just done. And surprisingly, doesn't start off as a little boss. He comes in for a drink, doesn't he?
Surprisingly, yeah.
Because then you get the kind of the reveal of Odin coming in, and I fucking love how they did Odin in this game.
This is
Thor is great, but Odin, oh my God, having Richard Schiff play Odin, he played Toby Ziegler in The West Wing, as this kind of almost like a fast talking kind of mob boss.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I also the fact that he had his cloak over his shoulders and all that as well, like giving the full Marlon Brando.
And not at all physically intimidating either.
His stature as well. His stature is just...
He's kind of, old man, kind of hunched over.
Yeah.
But absolute confidence, fast talking, and oh God, he was so good.
What I found...
Go on, sorry. As soon as he started talking, he's just like, oh yeah, you're a bastard.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I want to hear what you've got to say.
Yes, that's exactly what I was about to say. It seems like, in my head, Odin came there knowing he couldn't win in a one-on-one. He comes in because he wants peace. It seems like he wants peace, doesn't he? He comes in and offers him a deal. Now, Kratos of the old games would have said, all right, yeah, no bother. He'd have gone for peace. He's loathing for gods. And it seems his love for his son as well, and his son's curiosity, and his respect for his son's curiosity. Just for the first time in his career as a god, he just thought, you know what, no. Fuck it. You know what I mean? And for me, that was the first moment where I thought, that's a massively different Kratos. It seems like it's a Kratos that's like, I don't give a fuck anymore. I miss my wife.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens to Chaos in a weird way. I don't know how you guys read that when he just refused his truce.
I think it was more that it wasn't so much refusing the truce. It was more refusing to take a position in general. It was like, because I think if it like a previous Kratos would have just torn both of their heads off because he hated gods in general.
Yeah.
I think this was more of a no. We want to stay out. We want to stay in a little bubble away from fucking Ragnarok and all your bullshit. Mm-hmm. Just leave us alone.
But that's the thing that you probably didn't notice because you've only played it once. Odin literally says, "We will leave you alone if you leave us alone." And Kratos goes, "No." But he does say the boy needs to stop looking for Tyr. And that's what makes Kratos go, you know what, fuck you.
Oh.
So he literally says to him, we'll leave you alone. I don't give a fuck about Ragnarok. I don't give a fuck about Midgard. I just fuck off. Just leave us alone. We'll leave you alone. And Kratos is having none of it. And I think it's more, he just doesn't want to make deals with gods, you know what I mean? I think that's what it boils down to. He just loathes them completely, doesn't he?
Mm.
But yeah, then we jump into an amazing, quite difficult boss fight that has a lovely surprise. So Odin says, right, okay, don't take long. Thor flings Kratos with Mjolnir, and you end up near Tyr's temple, which is fucking miles away. And they have a big brawl. And
He just fixed the roof of that house.
I know he did. And the biggest thing happened to it, because I just peeked behind the curtain as well. I was playing it on the hardest difficulty. I thought, I'm fucking failing here. I'm getting my ass whooped. And I died. I don't know if you guys witnessed that. And Thor went, not on my watch. You're not dying today. And he brought me back alive. Apparently, you, that doesn't have to happen.
Oh, you don't have to go to that state.
No.
I thought that was because he gets you into that state with like a really
the menu comes up,
massive
doesn't
kind
it,
of
saying restart?
Yeah, like a blow that properly drags your health. I thought it was like a scripted event.
No, it doesn't have to happen. It ultimately will end up the exact same. But yeah, he's like, no, my watch, or whatever he says, and it brings you back to life. And then you have a proper punch up. You create an ever thunder lightning strike that sticks into the ice for the remainder of the game, which is so fucking metal. A lot of this game's fucking metal, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
And Brock and Sindri come and find you. You go back, and then you set out, really. This is when the adventure really kicks into gear. This is when it starts happening. You go out looking for Tyr. Now, the game opens up here. I'm not going to discuss everything that happens because that would be ridiculous, because the game massively opens up. Unlike the last game, you can explore, I think, is it every realm? I think
Not from the beginning. I think you get
not from the beginning.
Halfway through the game. You get about halfway through the game once you've basically been to each realm for its first story mission.
Yeah, then you can go everywhere.
Pick and choose where you want.
Yeah.
Kind of at that point, you can only really go to Sindri's house, Midgard, and then you unlock the first mission, which takes you to Svartalfheim.
That's the one. Yeah. Now, I want to ask you a question. I've got this written down. What's your favourite realm?
Alfheim.
Alfheim. Really?
So pretty.
Okay. Gadget?
I'm a big fan of Alfheim. I liked Asgard. I really like the kind of the look and the design of Asgard.
My favourite's Svartalfheim, and it's the first one you go to.
Yeah.
And
I found Svartalfheim. I found like kind of two sections of it a slog. I really like the bit where you're kind of at the lake and you're kind of free to go.
But you don't like the mines?
Where as you please. Hated the mines. The mines took fucking forever. The mines just constantly.
There's also the mountain. It's probably the biggest realm, isn't it? If you think about it.
Yeah. The mines especially reminded me of fucking Stonefang 2. The opening bit getting to the town I thought was all right, but the town itself was a bit of nothing because there was nobody there.
Yeah.
And it's not particularly easy to navigate, is it? It's not designed like a particularly well designed town, I don't think, in terms of computer game. I mean, story wise, I suppose.
I do like that Kratos has to duck everywhere.
Yeah.
When you go into that little pub and Bear McCreary's sat there playing on the little actually Bear McCreary. Yeah, it's so fucking cool.
Yeah, Candy just learned that this week.
I did.
Did you?
I had to tell her what it was after the Game Awards.
Yeah, I thought you were joking. I thought you had made a name up.
That's what it is.
That's a hurdy-gurdy.
I love that.
You can get wind-up ones. You can get electric hurdy-gurdies nowadays and stuff.
I really fucking want one.
You can get wind ones, can't you, where you blow into them? Have you seen those?
No, that's something different.
Else?
Hurdy-gurdy's got the kind of constant drone with the hand.
That's a Windy Mindy.
A Windy Mindy.
Hey.
But yes, you explore, you do. This is when you get some side quests. I do want to talk about the side quest with the whale really quickly.
That was epic.
I've spoken to a lot of people. They skipped this, not knowing it was a thing.
Why?
I just know people didn't do the chimneys, didn't do the, you know what I mean, the anchors. To me, that's Mimir's quest.
Yeah.
Yeah, very much. So you get a lot of backstory on Mimir there, and you kind of find out how much of a thrall he was to Odin.
Oh, he was he was the consigliere to the mafia, wasn't he?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and that's what I do like about this game as well. All the side quests seem to be focused on certain people, certain characters. Yeah. Which the first game was like, this quest is about getting armor. You know what I mean?
Do things for ghosts.
Yeah, doing things for ghosts. I can take them or leave them, but I still did them. You know what I mean? It's good to get your levels up and stuff like that.
Yeah,
but yeah,
I didn't do a lot of the side quests of the game. I did do the one with the whale, but it was taking me kind of too long to get through it, and because of my misguided desire to play the Callisto Protocol when it came out, I decided to just kind of like mainline the game. So I've still got the side quest to do, which I will do.
I won't spoil them all. There's some good ones in there.
I think I got around the same point as you, Gadget, where I gave up on the side quest and I just wanted to know what happens, because there's just there's so many to do, and they're not just little side quests, are there? They're storylines unto themselves.
The best tip about this game is, and obviously from playing it twice, the side quests seem to be designed to do after the game. I know it sounds weird because you get better dialogue when you do it later on as the second playable character. There's also stuff in like early Svartalfheim which you wouldn't get to. Yeah, which you wouldn't be able to get to because you need like the spear and stuff like that. Do it all at the end. So then we go on a whirlwind journey. I think we go to Alfheim before we actually go to the mines, don't we? I think so.
Do we?
Yes. Let me just quickly read there. Every realm you visit, subject gets to decimate Odin's influence. Selfish.
No. You don't.
You get tier first.
Yeah, tier first, and then you go to Alfheim.
So we will go through the mines. We find tier. Now, let's talk about tier and what tier represents in this game, because that's how this spoilercast is going to go. It's mainly character focused. Tier is not all he seems, is it, guys?
Bit of a.
I've not emotionally recovered.
Yeah, a bit of a broken down tier. So,
Tyr is not Tyr, as you all know. He is Odin in disguise. You guys have not seen this, upon second playing of this, you can fucking tell when Tyr is real. Because when anyone says the name Tyr that isn't Tyr, they have an umlaut on his name. Tyr speaks for himself without the umlaut. That's a little treat.
Oh, interesting.
And he also always without fail, after Boy goes to Asgard, always calls him Loki after that point.
I had noticed that.
Yep. So there's loads of things he says as well. The fact that he won't fight with you and stuff like that because Odin's not a fighter. And also, he turns into a fighter by the end, but it's magic, isn't it?
Jesus Christ.
It's magic rather than what you'd expect here to be a bit more like Kratos as the god of war. But then you end up going up and down the world into different... you do a lot of side missions. You go to Alfheim. All for MacGuffins for a while. It's quite... For me, after finding Tyr... And then you get to go to Sindri's house, and you've got your little Mass Effect Normandy base, haven't you? After that, I think it starts turning into 2018 for a little bit.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of, after that point.
It becomes game for a while.
Yeah, it's where the game kind of falls down for me because you get, it's a long game. It's a very long game. Yeah. But you get long sections where fuck all happens. But you're fighting the same enemies constantly.
It does have more enemies in this, but some of them are palette swaps.
Yeah, but it's the fucking nightmares. I hate the nightmares. Little floaty bastards.
So on the hardest difficulty, do you know the nightmares how they splurt out that slime? One hit kill that.
Nope.
Oh, great.
Hate it. Do you know what? It wasn't the nightmares for me. It was I can't remember what they're called, but they do that weird song. And they're trying to control. What are they called?
Oh, they're the knock-ons? Knock-ons, yeah.
Yeah. I hated them.
They're kind of constantly buffing another enemy, so you have to find them.
Yeah.
The one near the end where he's in the fucking tree.
Little goblins.
Oh, God, I hated that.
Yeah. But we play some game for a while. We do some side missions. We get some armor. No surprises yet, and then the surprise happens. Big argument. Is it? No, it's not a big argument. Everyone goes to sleep. Kratos goes to sleep, and then something happens that blew my fucking socks off. We start controlling Atreus.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a nice little surprise.
And he does a clever thing. It just seems like you're walking about and running. He doesn't show what weapons he's got. You can't attack. So I just thought, we're just playing as Atreus as we're walking around. We're not going to fight as Atreus. Oh, no, I was wrong.
I do like that first time you get to a chest with Atreus, he tries to punch his hand like his dad, and then he breaks his hand. That was very funny.
What do you think now? It's time to talk about Atreus now. Do you see how I'm doing this? What do you think to Atreus in this game?
I think combat-wise was a nice surprise to me. Like you were saying, getting to control him firstly, but also getting to control him and he not be a total weakling. Like you can tell that he can really look after himself.
Do you know, here's my hot take. I wish I could have mainlined the game as Atreus. I preferred
I think Atreus was more... Yeah, I think Atreus is more interesting to fight as than Kratos. I barely used the bow when I was playing as Atreus.
You don't need to, do you?
Just whacking people with it.
Yeah.
But he suited my combat style more because like when I play like Souls games or whatever, it's always dex builds or like I like faster fighters rather than brawlers.
Same.
So like he suited me down to the ground actually.
It was like a dex mage, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I really liked his fight. You go and this is when I kind of predicted something at this point because you get Sindri as your little ally, and then in my head I'm like, this is going to happen a lot more with different people. Different allies, and I was completely right. So this moves on to Sindri. Oh, go on. Sorry.
What gave me the clue to that? Sorry, before you move on, is when it says when you see the sort of menu screen, it doesn't say Atreus as your second; it just says your companion.
Yes. Yes. Exactly. Yeah. What do you think to Sindri then?
I feel bad for him with that story that they gave him.
Yeah.
They kind of really fucked him around. Like the entire run of the story, it's like you have to give up his home to Germy people.
Yeah, you've got to remember he's got mental illness, hasn't he? He's got mental health issues.
Yeah, he had to give away some of his finest treasures for the cause.
Yeah, he probably did the most sacrificing than anyone, didn't he, in the game?
Yeah, ultimately he lost his brother.
He was just
he's just rekindled best friend.
Yeah,
and
it's just so heartbreaking because he just even by the end of the game he doesn't forgive you. Like this guy has been the best friend to Atreus. He's helped him the whole way along. He was always the kind of light-hearted, he was always fairly chirpy, keep the mood up a little bit. And by the end, he's just a completely broken soul and he just doesn't forgive you.
Yeah, the game director, not the writer, not Cory Barlog. Is it Barlog? Yeah, Barlog. Not him. The game director stated that in his mind, Sindri is the main character in this game. He gets the end credits. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How powerful is that? That this character that was a merchant in the first game is
merchant comic relief.
Yeah, he gets the end credits, the proper end credit. It's fucking mad. It's absolutely mad. But yeah, I loved him in this. It's not the last we're going to see of that guy.
No,
not in a million years, and I wouldn't be surprised if he's going to be an antagonist.
It's also really worth pointing out that Adam Harrington, who plays Sindri, did a fucking brilliant job playing him in this.
Insane work. Yeah, they sneak off together, have some battles. I can't remember for the life of me what they're looking for. I think they're just looking for more information on who he is, who Atreus is, something along those lines. It's MacGuffins galore, this game, basically.
No, they're looking for the some more of the giants' shrines.
That's the one. To actually, because he's found out that he can use his powers to access
to go
more
into the shrines,
giant knowledge, being half giant himself. They want answers. The game is about answers, really, isn't it? They get that. It comes back. Does Kratos spot him here, or is it later on that he spots him? He's like, where have you been, boy?
Later on that he catches him.
Yeah. And then more things happen. More game happens after. This is what I've noticed about this. You get massive dumps of lore and great bit, and then game happens again, doesn't it?
I will say I don't think the environments were quite as well thought out as they were in 2018. There was a lot of like shoving you down tunnels and stuff, I think. And I don't mean literally the ones that are secret loading screens. I mean like the environments are quite narrow around you.
Yes, they are. And obvious encounter arenas as well. More obvious in this, I think. It also, for me, my favourite realm in the first game was Midgard. I don't like a fully frosty place. And we lost that we lost Earth basically to a fully frosty place. So it made Midgard feel dull.
What I did think was interesting.
They do really sell the coldness of Midgard, though. With like
yes,
full credit to the art design. It looks brilliant.
Did you ever do what I did? This is how I play games. Whenever I went back to Midgard, even if it were lower level, I put warmer armor on for Kratos. I can't see him with his nipples out in cold. It's not fair.
That's one of his weapons. Spiky nipple attack. I did think it was interesting that Fimbulwinter affected the different realms differently. So it was only like the Frosty realm on Midgard.
Yeah.
Whereas Svartalheim, it was the sort of noxious gases coming out, wasn't it, and all sorts.
Oh yeah. Oh god. I also loved that. And then more things happen, and it ultimately leads to, does Atreus go to Midgard before he goes to Ironwood? No, he doesn't, does it? Ironwood first.
Yeah, Ironwood first, where he meets Angrboda.
Probably my favourite new character.
I love her. I hate that level.
Did you really? I know it's proper split people, this level.
I love the narrative stuff in it.
Yeah.
But what you actually do there takes so fucking long and just hangs around for far too long. You're helping her do her fucking shopping and feeding her pets, man.
Yeah, the fruit collection one's fine, not 3 times.
Yeah, I never understood why it's 3. Is that just artificial longevity tactics?
It's artificial padding, I think.
Yeah.
They could have communicated all the information Angrboda gives you a lot faster than that.
Now, what I did love was the Jack and the Beanstalk level, where you go to a grandma's house, and as soon as I walked in, I went, everything's massive. Hang on, Angrboda's a giant. Oh shit! And then I was like,
giant.
Oh shit! And then we're going to the cellar, and the stairs are massive. I was like, oh my god, it's like Kingdom Hearts or something.
I loved that boss fight as well. That was my
favorite. You come out and you have a
game.
Kingdom Hearts boss, don't you? This is the most Kingdom Hearts this game has ever been.
Don't forget as well, that's that snake that you rescue becomes the next Jormungandr.
Yeah, although they don't actually specify that, do they? They only say that, that snake's got bigger. I think most people would figure out that that's Jormungandr, but I thought that was quite interesting how they did because they're supposed to be offspring of Loki, aren't they? Jormungandr.
Yeah, the snake is it's supposed to be Loki's son.
Yeah, so it's interesting that yes, Loki did create them.
Yeah, I did skip the fact that Loki did go to speak to Jormungandr again. Getting not but bollocks from him.
He couldn't speak to him before, though. In the last game, he didn't.
Ironwoods.
Yeah, the last game he couldn't speak to him, but this game his eyes glow up and he's got the lingo down.
Yeah, he's got it down. But yeah, we come out. Is this when Kratos catches him when he comes out of Ironwood? I think it is, isn't it?
Yeah, because he's been missing for like 2 days.
Yes, and that again, I was like, whoa. And the game does that thing where nobody sleeps and stuff like that because obviously it's a constant camera. Time works differently in the giant realm. Also, the main plot point of this and what all that led up to was Angrboda giving Loki more marbles and explaining that the giants didn't disappear. They put their souls into marbles.
They hid.
And I do love that when if you stand and look throughout Jotunheim, all the scenery is dead people, aren't they? They're all dead giants.
Yeah, it's a fascinating design.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily dead giants; it's the remnants of dead giants. So it's like their jewelry, their armor, their helmets, their weapons, stuff like that.
And I do like that.
I think you actually see corpses.
No, I don't think you do. And in the first game, it said that not all giants are big. So at least you know that some giants aren't big. I mean, imagine being that big and just giving birth to something tiny.
Or the other way around.
The other way around. Ah! Yeah, exactly. But yes, we come back. They have a little spat, don't they? And this forces Atreus to don the name Loki and go to ultimately to Asgard.
Although actually, just leading up to that, also you get the boss fight between Freya and Kratos, where Freya is full Valkyrie.
Because this is also why he goes off to go speak to Freya as well, doesn't he? This is what.
Yeah.
And Freya's having none of it.
I will say one of the letdowns of this game is like there was not enough Valkyrie fights because they were some of the best parts of the last game.
Did you fight the new Valkyrie Queen?
No, I haven't told you yet. I've still got the end game content to do.
Mate, that makes up for it. Trust me.
Because the fucking Graves of the Berserkers are not the same.
They're not fun either. No. But yes, what's her name? What's her fucking Freya?
Freya.
Yep, thank you. She says, I'm never going to forgive him, blah, blah, blah. He runs off to Asgard. I did not expect Asgard to look like Death Stranding.
It was very Death Stranding.
And there's no fight for a little bit, is there? You're just wandering around and looking. It's probably the realm where I literally span the camera around that much and just took it all in. It's stunning.
Yeah.
It's stunning, and especially when you start climbing the wall and you get those vistas over the countryside.
Yeah, just before you climb the wall, you meet the most unnecessary character in the game, that boy. I can't remember his name. Yeah.
Skolja, something like that.
Unnecessary. I don't get why he existed. Dull. Boring. I just didn't get him. So then I was like, there's no way they're going to make him climb up this wall, because that wall is fucking massive. It makes the snake eater ladder look ridiculous. You do. You do climb it. And who's waiting at the top?
The biggest cunt in gaming.
Yep. Not Idris Elba.
It certainly is not Idris Elba. Now, with... How do I put this without sounding like... I kind of guess this is what's going to happen. What's his fucking name again? I just had it
Heimdall.
Heimdall. I guess because they spoke about him quite a lot before this.
Yeah.
They spoke about him, especially if you did a lot of side missions like I did. There's a big story that Mimir mentions about Heimdall and the Galahorn. Is it Galahorn?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Galahorn, and how much of a dick he is, and immortal, impossible to beat, and stuff like that. And in my head, at first I thought, is this going to be a big beast like he is in Thor, in the Marvel films and stuff like Idris Elba? And then as I was wandering around, I'm like, as soon as someone stood on my fingers, on Atreus' fingers on the top of that mountain, I was like, that's Heimdall. Did you guys think it would be?
Not to begin with.
Yeah,
I didn't.
Really?
I figured it would be just mostly because that's Heimdall's job. He guards the realm.
He guards the realm, and he's got glowing eyes, and I was like, this is him. This is him. And
didn't expect the cornrows.
Did he have a grill as well? He had gold teeth.
He had a grill. Yeah, gold teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's an absolute ass. He's basically an influencer, isn't it?
Basically, yeah. Incidentally, I just looked up his voice actor, Oodles. You'll enjoy this. The voice actor currently plays Flash in the Harley Quinn TV series.
Does he? I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. He's got a typical American accent, and he's really arrogant. That's the best way to put him, I think. He knows.
Yeah.
He knows he can see everything. He sees into the future.
Sees in the future, sees into your heart, sees into your mind. He knows what you're thinking. He knows what you're doing. Although, does he see in the future? I thought he could basically read your mind. He knew what you were going to do.
No. So Heimdall's got the Bifrost foresight, so he can see his future.
Right, okay.
Only things that affect him, his future. So,
right.
He looks like
that's not going to lead to an arrogant person.
Exactly. It looks like his speed, isn't it? But it's not. He just knows it's happening. So he'll it's similar to how everyone thinks the Flash has got super speed, like Quicksilver in X-Men. He's not. He's got the Speed Force, which makes him stop time rather than be fast. It's weird, but yeah. He's got the gift of foresight. He protects the realms. Great person to have atop of a massive cliff, because you'd see him and you'd be like, "Fuck this, I'm going," because he's horrible. He's horrible.
He is a really dreadful, terrible person, and played so perfectly. Like you hate him from the first sentence. Like, he is the definition of racist, because he hates Loki just for the fact he hates Loki Atreus for the fact that he's half giant. Constantly calls him a half breed.
Yes, and it's the only person that ever calls him that.
Yeah, believes that that Odin is wrong for not destroying all of the non-Aesir.
Yeah, he hates Thor for that very reason, for being half giant as well.
Yeah. Although I don't think he says it to his face.
No, he's not stupid. So yeah, he reluctantly does say, "My name's Loki. I've been invited." He reluctantly. It's weird. He takes him down the gondola, and then you just see
some nice gondola action as well.
Yeah, you see a very normal-looking fjord village, Viking village thing, just with lots of Valkyries training. It seems really normal, and it surprised me. I was expecting golden cities and.
I think you've been kind of spoiled by the MCU's version of Asgard, though.
Yeah,
that is kind of what you would. That is what you would expect Asgard to look like. It's not a realm of the gods; it is a realm of the Aesir.
Yes, which is completely exactly.
It's not Valhalla.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, we go in there, and we see all his mates. We see Thor. Thor still does not like Loki at all, and I'm going to call him Loki while he's there because that's what everyone calls him.
I don't think Thor likes anybody at that point.
I don't. And then you meet Thrud.
I love Thrud.
She's cool.
Great new character. Got a look of Candy.
Yep.
Great hair. Fabulous hair.
You could cosplay as Thrud so easily.
Oh, I'm going to.
Next year's Halloween costume.
I'm going to back comb the old hair. That's all I need.
Grass skirt on.
Yep.
Well, it's not grass, but it's like some kind of woven
skirt. Already got the tattoos.
It'll be it'll be a grass skirt when I cosplay it.
She's a great character, and you can see the giant in her. She's quite big for her age. She's like a dad. She takes after her dad rather than a mum. We also
they went hard with Sif's design as well, didn't they?
Oh,
Jesus Christ, that woman!
Yeah, they made her desirable, but also strong looking, scary is
the word.
Mm-hmm.
It's very Amazonian design to that. I just wasn't seeing that one coming.
Yeah, expecting some kind of maiden or something like that, or a warrior princess, but she's just, you wouldn't like. There's a scene where Thor and her they have an argument in the bedroom, don't they? I was like, I would not want to upset that woman because even Thor's scared of her.
Yeah,
but the funny thing is, you meet Odin, and everything seems super normal. It's like you're not a prisoner; you can go whenever you want. Just speak to Bird. Go when you want. Here's your bedroom.
Cheers, Bird.
Here's your bedroom from that bloke that you killed in last game. It was his bedroom.
It's Moody's bedroom, wasn't it?
Yeah. Remember when you killed him? Have his bedroom. That's his cupboard. You can sharpen your bow in there. But yeah,
I quite like, and this kind of leans a little bit back towards Thor.
Mm-hmm.
I quite like that because obviously we didn't see Thor in the previous game. We just seen Moody and Magni. They were our only connection to Thor himself,
and they are very much like their dad.
Yeah, they were kind of drunken, braggadocious arseholes.
Mm-hmm.
And that translates so well into Thor himself.
Yeah.
But then you start to see Thor through a different light because you start seeing him through Thrud's eyes.
Yes.
And she just wants her dad to be all right.
You just want her dad to be right.
It's fucking heartbreaking throughout because you can see how frustrated she is with him.
Because Thor is a raging alcoholic.
Wildly so.
It's like he's even on there's a little dialogue thing you can see because you can go around the hall and stuff and talk to people. There's dialogue where it's like, "Oh, he'd done really well. He did 10 weeks without a drink." I'm like, "What? He's on a scheme. He's on a plan. On a 5-step program." But he fucks that up later.
But yes, you also see kind of through Thrud's eyes as well.
Mm.
You see how Odin treats Thor. And you can see kind of why Thor drinks. Because Odin is not nice to him at all.
He's horrible to him. And he always keeps saying all the way through, "Oh, it used to be so much fun. So much more fun." As if saying, when you were half cut, when you're always drunk, you were better. I enjoyed your company
when you're drunk. I think he actually does say that at one point. You were so much more fun when you used to drink.
Yeah. And he also has a little brief moment. If did you know, if you like, when you're in Odin's little underground lab, which is also weird. Odin mutters to his son and stuff when he goes, "Balder," Loki, as if Balder were his favourite. Do you know what I mean? I think
Balder was his favourite.
Yeah, of course he was. He pissed off about his death, wasn't he, massively? But yeah.
Well, wasn't it the death of Balder that brought in Fimbulwinter, which is the precursor to Ragnarok?
Yes, so. Yeah. So all that rests on. I don't know if Thor's older than Balder. I'm not sure. I don't know how that.
I think he's Balder's younger brother.
Yes, it might be. Yeah, I think Balder's like the prodigal son, isn't he? He's the one. He's the proudest. Yeah. And again, he still says that he loves Freya, doesn't he? So maybe that
Yeah, but can you really believe him though? Everything is a manipulation.
This is the
from
thing, because now all the way through
Well,
talking.
because I'm not too skipping too far ahead. So there is that moment at the very end when kind of Freya and Odin, Freya's basically got Odin by the noose thing.
Yes,
and he's like, he's clearly in trouble, Odin.
Yeah.
And he said, I always loved you.
Mm.
yeah.
And it's just like.
Did he?
Yeah, that's out of the toxic masculinity playbook right there.
Oh yeah, 100%.
When the abused wife has you at the end of a knife, you say, "I always loved you."
Yeah.
It's really horrible piece of shit.
Yeah, exactly. So what we do find out in Odin's lab, I still think it's fantastic that Odin's got a lab, because even in the poems and in the history and stuff, he was a seeker of knowledge. That's why he lost his eye. You know what I mean? For knowledge.
Yeah.
And he reveals, this is the weird thing. He reveals everything that he wants to do to Loki. He says, I want to see what's in here. That's how I lost my eye, by looking into this. I don't forget what he calls it. This void, this thing.
It was just the all knowledge or something like that.
Yeah,
all knowing.
they all know. He wants to know everything basically. And he says, we need to get this mask. Fragments from this mask are all over the realms. Collect these pieces. You can read any language, so you're the one that can transcribe it and look for things and tell me where. And then basically you go with Thor then to, is it? No, it's not Helheim, is it? It's
Muspelheim.
Muspelheim.
They go first, isn't it?
And you go and find the map, blah blah blah. And this is Angerboda turns back up, because I thought she was just a dream at first. You know what I mean?
She had kind of manic pixie dream girl vibes about her in general. But yeah.
Then she turns up there. I'm like, whoa, oh, okay. She can turn up there. You get more
she
knowledge.
sort of said that was the end of her story in Loki's future sort of thing. So it was surprising to see her again.
I think that's a little spanner in the works as well to prophecy and stuff like that, because she was never in any other prophecy after that.
Yeah, well, that's the hint that it's not that the game isn't going to be about Kratos dying and Loki being responsible for it, which is what the prophecy was.
Yes.
As soon as Angerboda turns up again, that's her break in the prophecy and proving that she can write her own ending.
Exactly. I think there's a lot more to Angerboda than meets the eye in the grand scheme of the actual ongoing saga that we're going to see in the next games and stuff like that. We've smash cut back to Kratos then. Basically, while he's looking for the mask stuff, Kratos is looking to get to Asgard. How do I get to Asgard? Blah, blah, blah. He goes to find that jungle land. He goes to Jungle Town. I forgot what it's called, that realm. And meets Freya.
That was Vanaheim?
Vanaheim. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
They go to Vanaheim and meets Freya, Freya's twin brother. Brilliant. They've got the same name.
And he's a drunk himbo.
He is absolutely.
I love Freya.
He's great. He is great.
He would be great to like hang out on a boat with.
Yeah. Yeah, he would.
You know the kind of guy. He's always got a cooler full of beers by him.
Yeah.
And knows where the best party spots are. Gets the good drugs.
It also alludes to Mimir mentions in the last game that about Freya, and then he talks about Freya's brother. He just calls him Freya's brother, and how everyone loved him, and the elves especially loved him. And we saw that in this. So in his little camp, we've got the pig guy that we shot in the last game. I forgot his name. Ispalini or Muspeltini or Margarita. I don't know his name. Appletini.
Mussolini.
Yeah, Mussolini. He's no longer a pig. He's now a cool guy.
Idrosavir? Something like that. With a H.
Ivindel Martini. Yeah, he's there. and Freya's got a little cabal, hasn't he, of renegades and outcasts. He's got a dark elf and a light elf and a light elf who are married. Ooh.
Yeah.
That's a good bit. And there's another little dwarf there. I forgot the dwarf's name. What's her name?
Oh, God, I hated her character.
Yeah, I was about to say. Maybe.
That was it.
Yeah.
Linda, yeah.
She's shit. Crap.
She talks with a fucking Texan accent. Out of all the accents in this fucking game, where is Texan come from?
Because we got a South African dwarf earlier on, didn't we? He sounded awesome. He was awesome.
But then she's perfect for Brock.
Yeah, I
I mean,
suppose.
true, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, we find out that ultimately, you go on a wild goose chase. You need to help Freya, Gil Freya, from being able to enter any realm, don't you? Because she's got that thing where she's stuck in Midgard. So she's powerless, basically. And then you chase a Nidhogg, which is just fucking brilliant. Did you love that boss?
I love that boss, and I'm slightly disappointed they took this far into the game for us to get our first kill the big beastie boss.
Yes, absolutely. Because we killed 3 dragons by this point in the last one.
Yeah, because in the first game, it was typified by how epic most of the boss fights were. Yes, yeah, you fought. This is the Dark Souls 2 thing. You fought dudes in armor, fine.
Yes,
but, it's like there were a lot more kind of awesome bosses in terms of scale.
Yeah.
In the first game, in this game, there's only a handful, and it's really frustrating because
they know how to do it.
They're over too soon.
Yeah, I love the Nidhogg.
Too soon.
If you play it on hardest difficulty as well, it just makes it like such. This could be an end boss on other games. You know what I mean? That's how.
Yeah, like
epic
when
it is.
when it opens up a portal and just starts jabbing its tail through in different directions. I fucking laughed so much because that's such a clever way to use a boss that can do that.
And it's a legendary Norse mythological creature, the Nidhogg. Everyone knows about the Nidhogg. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's just fucking sensational. We finally kill that. We don't realise what motion that sets in place by killing a Nidhogg. That fucks up other things later on. We free Freya of a curse. I can't remember is it a heart or something like that that's stopping it happening, or I don't know what it is. It's stopping some kind of Bifrost or something. It's always Bifrost, isn't it? It's always something. MacGuffin, I told you. It's always MacGuffin, but she's free now. So we ultimately find out that I think yes. Then after we kill the Nidhogg, we smash back to Atreus / Loki. He goes on a little reconnaissance mission with Thrud, which I fucking enjoyed. We go to Helheim, don't we?
Yeah.
Which I didn't expect it to be like this.
Yeah?
The docks. Do you know what I mean? Because we see a lot more. If you remember Helheim from the first game, it's a corridor.
You see a lot more of it, yeah.
It's
corridor.
It's just a corridor to the bird, to hell. And that's it.
Yeah,
and then you walk back.
Oh yeah,
it was interesting thing. I did the whole thing with Garm was a bit weird.
Yes.
So
see, I thought Odin had deliberately put the mask in the wrong place, but put them in harm's way to fight Garm.
We never get answers to that. That's the problem.
No, we don't.
And we don't know Odin's. But this is where obviously the free Garm, which is a Garm, which is
Garm.
That it's North mythology's Cerberus, basically. It can chew fabric of time and space. It can destroy realms. You've got too much powerful things in in this mythology. This is where Loki then says, "I'm out. I can't. I've got to go back home." And Odin goes, "Okay." It's weird, isn't it? And then he puts him back into his home on Midgard, his actual cabin. And the bird just stays there, doesn't it? Ready for you, the crow.
Yeah.
And this is when this is when
Hugin's a good lad.
Yeah, he's a good lad. This is when you go into the portal, and Kratos is waiting for you in the place in between or whatever it's called, on the what's it called? Yggdrasil.
The World Tree.
Yggdrasil, yeah. He's waiting for him, isn't he? And that moment is the first moment.
No.
Is it not?
No, you're getting mixed up. That happens. After that happens after the first time, like Atreus catches Atreus pissing off. Now, what happens this time is you go through Yggdrasil, you come back to Sindri's house, and the Hellwalkers are attacking Sindri's house.
That's the one. Yeah, that's the one. So I missed that moment. Then, yeah, the moment that I'm talking about is before that. It's the first time I cried in this game. The dog didn't get me. Never does.
It's that bit where you end up fighting Freya as a Valkyrie.
Yes, that's the one. And Kratos looks at him. You think he's going to scream at him. He hugs him.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was nice.
He fucking hugs him. I'm glad you're safe. And you don't talk about it. And it's the bit that broke my heart. He goes, "Do I call you Atreus or Loki?" I'm like, "Fucking hell!" Do you know what I mean? I was like,
Yeah.
oh my God, he's just accepted his son for the first time. Oh, do you know what I mean? It's a massive moment. You know
Well,
what I
he
mean?
was also asking if he was working with Odin, or if
Odin.
he was still working for them. That's
why he asked him that
name.
name.
That's what I mean. That's what I took from it.
Yeah. But he still accepted him. He accepted his journey. But yeah, we go back. Sindri's house is attacked. It's all kicking off, isn't it? Is this where we get the reveal of Tyr?
No, that's
not yet, is it?
Not yet, because this is where Atreus breaks down, admits what he did with Garm. He gets a thorough telling off from the head, which was fucking hilarious.
Yes, they have to stop it then, don't they? They have to find Garm.
Which takes me to my least favourite level, because going through Helheim a second time in a row.
Very close obsession.
Very long corridors of the same enemies.
The dock's not good, is it?
And the same puzzles where it's just like, hold the door open, find where you get to throw the fucking ice thing to hold the door.
But you do get the
Behind
best
a
joke in
barrel.
you get the best joke in the game at this very moment, where Kratos runs off and loots in and goes, "Oh, he always does that." Do you know what I mean? I love that bit.
Yeah,
he loves loot.
Yeah, so you get the Garm, you get the second encounter with Garm.
Yep.
Where you have to fight him. You fight him 3 or 4 times
Tough.
throughout this level.
That's the hardest baddie on the hardest difficulty for me.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
And Atreus
rock solid.
realizes because he's got Fenrir's soul in his knife, which is what Angrboda had told him about earlier. Comes up with a solution, which is basically because Garm doesn't have a soul. Garm can't die. Garm just exists as id, no ego. So he stabs him with the knife, and that's when we get Fenrir reborn as a giant puppy. And he's so cute.
Yeah.
He is cute. Did you notice his face changes to look more like Fenrir looked?
Like
He
a
looks-
dog.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good. I was so happy about that. And then he went, "Go home." Kratos goes, "Go home," and we don't see him for a while, do we? And I thought, where's the fuck is he gone?
No, the best thing was it's Fenrir, Dad, and he looks up, he goes, "Sit." It's thunk.
Yeah,
Giant dog
yeah,
just
he does.
immediately sits. I'm like, fucking brilliant, good boy.
But like you said, we
that
didn't
it was his soul in the knife, because I know Angrboda said, "Oh, there's somebody's soul in that knife." I thought it might have been phase.
No, I think he knew because he remembers that happening.
Right.
Or he just took a stab in the dark, pun intended.
Hey,
And he says, "Go home." But again, like Gadget said, we didn't need all that Helheim to get to this bit. Why couldn't we just teleport her to this bit? It would have made so much more sense, wouldn't it?
I wouldn't mind having Helheim if you were just having to chase Garm through it.
Yeah, but you have a
But
full
having
section.
all those combat sections, and this is also the point of the game where the enemies get super spongy.
And
like,
they get, and when they're in this realm as well, they've got the frost protection as well. So you're
it's
forced to
like
use the blades.
Like some of the Hellwalkers were taking like 15, 16 hits to take down.
Yes, there were. Unless you had some.
When they're mobbing you, it's really hard to manage those fights. Even like by that point, you should have upgraded a load of stuff. And Kratos has a load of abilities.
Yeah.
But even then, it's just not fun to be constantly dodging around a fight to try and do that.
On the hardest difficulty, I will tell you now, that's the hardest section in the game, that return to Helheim. It really is.
See, on the one under normal, which I was playing on just so we could get through, because Pip was enjoying watching the story.
Yeah.
That was the most boring section of the game.
Really, yeah. Yeah. I didn't like it either. It's artificial padding, like you said. But yeah, we go back. Then we find out that basically he starts talking, Freya's fine again, isn't she? We get talking that maybe we have to go through the prophecy and maybe we will start Ragnarok or maybe not. But we're never going to be able to beat Heimdall. We're never going to be able to beat him. Because it can see one step in front all the time. And then Sindri comes into action, and one of my favourite sequences in the game happens when he Scrooge McDucks that shit, and he goes into his little gold pot, wishing well, and it's just got so many. And he gets that the ring. What's the ring called again? Can you remember?
Draupnir.
That's the one. He gets that ring.
So the well thing was full of rings. It was to hide Draupnir.
Yeah, but still.
Actually, I think they were all spawned from Draupnir.
Yeah, they
That's why he had it on a rope.
Yeah. He drops it and it does. It just goes everywhere, doesn't it? It's so cool.
And he almost loses the right one. At what point though did we go and see is it the Norns, like the three sisters, the
Norns is while Atreus is
going back
just before Atreus goes to Helheim in the first.
Yes, we missed that. Good
thought
sequence,
was
that.
good. Yeah, because it kind of showed that actually they're not prophesizing anything. They're like the experts of human nature. They're just taking everyone's behavior and they're making a prophecy through, and then they're nearly always right, but they're making a prophecy through what they think is going to happen, not what they've seen, not what they know.
Yeah. Like, you won't know this, Candy, but in the second game, Kratos goes to see the Greek version of these, the Fates, and there's dialogue that these guys say exactly the same. I don't know if you remember that, Gadget, because it's probably been a long time since you played 2.
I have a
when he goes back, he goes to kill the Fates, basically.
Yeah.
Which there is a discussion when he goes to see these ones, like, oh, I'm going to have to kill him. I've done this before.
I mean, it's character development that he doesn't kill them. That is impressive.
Yeah, and isn't like that room of hair or whatever it is, isn't it? It's like a...
Yeah, I really like that whole sequence. Again, I thought the lead up to it was kind of artificial padding, because like, you go to one place, oh no, this isn't the right place. Go to the next place, oh no, this isn't the right place. Like, fuck's sake, just take me to where I need to be.
We didn't need the game to be 40 hours long, did we, really?
No.
It would have been better as a tight 20.
Yeah.
Like, it would have been 100%, like 100 out of 100 if it were a tight 20 hours.
Yeah. I am glad you brought up the Norns, but yeah, that's a big bit I missed.
And also, getting a ride a Selkie.
Yes.
That was beautiful.
Yeah. And again, one shot.
Yeah.
I want to see the boundary break on this game.
When the speedrunners get to it.
I want to see how they're going to get past certain things like this. You know what I mean? The glitch runs. How they're going to get past that bit. But yeah, we have to go and create a weapon to kill Heimdall. So we go back to Svartalfheim again for the 400th time. We've been in minecarts before.
This game.
Yeah, we've been in minecarts where we're going back in again. We go to the Forge. Now, I got to the gates of the Forge very early on in this game and wondered if I were ever going to come back. Yeah, you come back. But you go to the best blacksmith or whatever in the world, and it's a mermaid. You take Brock with you because Atreus has gone back to Asgard. Has he gone back to Asgard to discuss things, find out things? I think he has.
No, again, this is just before Garm.
Is it? Have I gone that bad? Have you got the spear by this point? Fucking hell, missed that up.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, because he used the spear during the fight with Garm to break its shackles.
Fuck, of course you did, yeah. I missed that then. But yeah, you get the spear. Now, I want to talk about the spear. It's my favourite weapon.
Oh.
I only used it for the Heimdall fight.
Yeah, I barely used it.
Are you crazy?
I found it frustrating to aim.
I didn't aim it. I used it as a pike. So when you play on the hardest difficulty and you level this up to max, it's the highest percentage of damage, the DPS.
Well, I think that as well because I wasn't doing the side quests or anything like that, so I wasn't getting the upgrade materials.
Yeah, that's true.
So like by the time I finished the game, this was 2 levels lower than my other weapons, and it just wasn't doing the damage.
There's a special weapon out there it does, where it's like a phalanx multi-spear thrust, and without that, I wouldn't be able to beat the game. And especially the last super boss, the mega boss. But yeah, we've got all that. Let's skip to the thing, the piece, the set piece at the end now. So everything correlates. There's a weird bit where you go back to Jungle Town and you go on a plane ride or something, don't you? And
well, yeah, no. So you're getting ahead of yourself again here. So
bloody hell, this game's so long.
They learn that Freya's captured by the Aesir. So Kratos and Freya go back to Vanaheim to rescue Freyr.
Yes.
And that's where Kratos is forced to have the boss fight with Heimdall.
Mm.
Oh shit, yes. This is where he actually kills him.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't want to, does he? But Heimdall, being the dick that he is, says you've got to do it, it's fate or whatever, something like that. Ragnarok's going to happen. And he's like, so be it.
He needed to die though. Oh god. Bring on
There's
Ragnarok.
No way that man could have. Yeah, it's worth Ragnarok for that.
I did not like this boss fight. I thought it was long and boring.
Did you get the mechanics to it?
I got the mechanics to it. I just thought it was just long and boring. And what was it, 3 phases?
Yes,
5 phases.
But every time you've done a phase, it check marks it, even on the hardest difficulty. It check marks it.
Yeah, that was the whole thing, because you had the first phase where you had to try and basically get a line of the spears in the ground for him to hit over, so you could kind of break his guard. Then you had 3 phases of the fight, so that's up to 4. At which point you win it, you get the cutscene where he says, where like Kratos tries to walk away from him and say, "I'm not going to kill you today," and he's like, "No, fuck you, you don't get to choose for me." So Kratos blows his arm off.
Yeah.
And then that's when you fight kind of magicked up Heimdall, and then that's the last. So it's 5-phase fight. I will admit, did enjoy seeing Heimdall die.
I did. I wanted him to die better. I don't think he died.
No. Hands around the throat is exactly what he deserved.
Oh, yeah, I suppose.
That was cathartic.
I'd love his head to explode or something like that. I used to. I like how he killed.
No. This is one of those few characters that need to suffer.
No, but imagine the death scene on God of War 3 when he kills Poseidon, where you're looking through Poseidon's eyes and he's bashing this fucking skull. Do you remember that one?
Well, what about when he kills Zeus and he goes first person and you're basically just pummeling him into the rocks?
Yeah, I wanted a bit more of that, but yeah, they can't cut like that in this game, can they? So
no.
Yeah, it's really good. Then we go on the little aeroplane. I can't remember why we go on an aeroplane, but that guy fought.
It was to escape.
It was just to escape, and there were some dragons and stuff, weren't there?
Yeah, it was Freya's boat.
That's Freya's the one. It's the boat. It's not an aeroplane.
After that character killed himself, he didn't kill himself. He sacrificed himself. Well, I didn't even know what character that was. Like, was it Hilda Sweeney?
That was no. He was one of the one of them traveller knights, but he's a goodie. You know them traveller bosses that you fight, them mini bosses.
Oh,
he's one of them.
Oh,
but he's a goodie one. Yeah, he's got the same armor on. He's a goodie one.
Supporter of Freya.
Yeah. There wasn't much. For somebody to sacrifice himself, there wasn't much character development with him. I didn't care.
There is that little bit where Kratos went, "Oh, he's fallen off," not his name. He didn't even know his fucking name. But yeah, he actually, that's just a plot point to say there's an end game area where he's gone. Did you notice that? The pit or something like that? The crater?
Oh, okay.
Have you not seen that, Gadget?
No, not yet.
Basically, if you do the mission to find him, it's the biggest open area the game has seen. So
nice.
There's about 6 hours of gameplay in that one area. It's the biggest open area of the game. It's bigger than Svartalfheim, and it's just massive. It's where all the super bosses are and stuff.
Right. Okay.
Remember at Final Fantasy X when you get to the Calmlands?
Yeah.
Think that, but devilish.
Oh, lovely.
And it's got a night and day cycle where at night everything's harder. So
of course it is.
Yeah. It's a good area. It looks like it plays, and thematically it's a DLC style area. No, it just exists.
Yeah,
and all you're doing is going to rescue him, but it's massive. Do that though. I think it's called the Crater, something like that. But yeah, that's all that bit's for. That's what that payoff is for. He sacrificed himself, so you have to go and look for him and get the end game at But it's cool. Right. I think is now are we going to Ragnarok?
No, so at this point,
we go back to Tyr's temple, don't we, for something?
No. So at this point, Atreus has found all the parts of the Loki mask.
Oh shit! Yeah, the reveal hasn't happened either.
Yeah, this is the point where we get the reveal. So they go back to Sindri's house, and Tyr has a sudden change of heart because he's been a pacifist throughout, but now that he has the mask, he's ready to go to war.
I'm ready to go.
He has a secret way in. Brock is very suspicious of him, and starts kind of badgering.
Should we call him Loki?
Yeah, Tyr loses his fucking shit, pulls out a knife, fatally stabs Brock, and then transforms back into Odin.
Do you think?
Because it turns out there's been a fucking raven hiding in the fucking
cupboard. Do you think they should have? I think the reveal was very quick. I think they should have lingered on. It looked like Tyr just killed Brock.
No.
For a little bit longer.
I think it worked as it was because it was such a shocking thing in general. You needed to see that it was Odin quite quickly.
It was still such a massive blow. It was such a shock.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't force Loki to run off as well?
Sort of. It's Kratos takes.
Let's go hunting.
To Midgard, and they go hunting, which it's another kind of padding thing. I didn't like this bit of character development so much because Loki's. We're alternating the names. I'm going to keep calling Atreus is kind of like upset by the death of Brock.
Mm-hmm.
He has been around a lot of death. He has killed a lot of things. Like, this is that kind of ludonarrative dissonance that you get with games.
Yeah.
Where
this is just the
actions of
shopkeeper.
the game don't reflect the narrative.
See, I really.
So it's just the shopkeeper, but he has been around a lot of death, and he has been around a lot of main characters dying. You know.
See, I really like this
true.
moment because Kratos was just like, "We're done. They've won."
This is where he says he don't want to do anything else. He's gone back, but the truce is done now, isn't it?
Yeah,
You can't have a truce
Ragnarok's
anymore.
coming. Let's just spend the rest of the time
Let's go
together
home.
doing what you want to do.
Yeah, you actually do go hunting as well, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
It's mad. Do we see Fenrir in this bit again? Doesn't he?
Yeah, he's kicking. Yeah, he's kicking about at the
He's
house.
kicking about, and then he's just the giant in the forest.
Because they were talking in the house and they come out of the house and just this kind of tree trunk smashes down in front of them,
Yeah.
and then Fenrir hops over as if he's wanting to play fetch.
Yeah. Like, come on, mate.
He's a good boy.
He's the best boy. But yeah, that happens. They go back then to the house. They try and sort out a plan. Shinji comes out from the balcony and says, "I'll go speak at Svartalheim." He's not happy though, is he?
Oh no.
Well, clearly not.
Yeah, obviously. But just before that as well, he tells Loki that it's his fault as well, doesn't he?
Mm. Yeah, he blames us
You
for
wanted
it.
to do this. You wanted to look for Tyr. You've led him to my house. I invited you all into my house. You were guests, and look what you've done. You've killed my fucking best friend and / brother. He kind of doesn't blame Kratos for it, which is weird. It's not really
It's
Kratos'
kind of more
fault.
Kratos' fault.
Yeah, I think it is. I
think when you go and do the Viking funeral, I think it's fairly obvious that he does also blame Kratos.
Yeah, by that point, yeah. But this is all, again, like everything in Kratos' life, it's all Kratos' fault.
I think it's because Atreus was his friend, wasn't he? He feels more betrayed. Like he never really had a particular relationship with Kratos other than building his armor, but he went on adventures with Atreus, and they were in the first game they were friends. They had a rapport.
Yeah. So now we go to the ultimate climax. Each person, each ally that we've created, the members of the Normandy, you've done all their missions for them. You've done all their friendship missions.
There is one more mission to do because they have to get Ragnarok himself. They have to go see Surtur.
I was just about to say it.
All right, yeah, because they go to Muspelheim.
Yeah, so Muspelheim, and they go and speak to Surtur. I didn't expect him to be like, "Go away."
Yeah,
that's all he's like. Go away.
I didn't expect him to throw a fucking stone colossus at you. Jesus fucking Christ! I was not prepared for that fight.
Oh yeah,
no,
two of them. He had Dr. Manhattan vibes.
Yeah, it turns out that Surtur doesn't give a fuck. He doesn't give a fuck because he's just a man in love, and he says, "Have you ever tried being in love? I love that. I love that. Have you ever tried being in love? It's fantastic." He's got his lover's heart inside of him. So
I love the design of him, where his body is kind of charred, brittle wood.
Yeah,
but he's got like this permafrost on him from his girlfriend's heart, which is ice.
Yeah,
I thought that was a fucking brilliant design.
And they go to the place beyond. I don't know what it's called. I think it's called the place beyond, something like that. Beautiful scenery.
Spark of the world.
Spark of the world. That's it. Beautiful. Cosmological.
Very synthwave.
Very synthwave. Very modern escapism. And then, and then you fight two Valkyries.
Which was my favourite boss fight in the whole game. That was
fantastic. And they're just berating you all the way through it.
Oh, that was the thing. Is it was like unrelenting because like they're proper tag teaming you. Like, you know, when one flips onto you, the other one flips onto Atreus, and vice versa. You have to constantly be aware of Atreus getting picked up, and you have to like kind of knock him out of their wings.
Yeah.
And then they'll like fly off the side, and they'll do like area of effect attacks on you. Oh, it was great. I fucking love that.
Really, really good. And then Surtur does what he needs to do. It becomes Ragnarok.
Before we move on, the bit you mentioned, have you ever tried being in love? There was a moment that made me laugh, and I can't remember at what point. It's when Atreus has gone off with Angrboda, and if you go to Loki Atreus's room, Kratos says something along the lines of, "Have I taught him how to love? Have I taught him how to woo her?"
Yeah,
it's like the most
does.
awkward thing, and Mimir's like, "I think I taught him how to do that, brother."
Yeah. Oh, God, there is that bit as well. That's so funny. It reminds me of that thing, you can woo a woman with a piece of cheese. Do you know what I mean?
And it works every time, by the way.
Exactly. But yeah, Surtur accepts fate. Everyone accepts fate. And then they go to the war camp at Tyr's Temple. Another one of my favourite scenes where everyone's ready. They say to Kratos, you need to be what you were born to be, what you used to be in Greece. You were the general. And he was. Before he was a god, he was a general. I mean, he was born a god, but he didn't know that. He was a general. You don't know this, Candy, because you've not played the other games. He was general in the Spartan army. Yeah, he's a general in the Spartan army. And he takes up that mantle again, doesn't he? He reluctantly accepts being a general. But there's the scene where, oh, God, Freya goes, that's your tent. And she goes to Loki, that's your tent. It's like, oh, separate tents. She went, yeah, you get your own tent. Of course you do. And Kratos goes in, lies down. And before he can sleep, Atreus comes in and goes, Can I sleep next to you, please? I thought, oh, he's still a little boy. My son's like 10 years old. And if he has a nightmare, he'll still, can I get in bed? 10-year-old, do you know what I mean? It never stops. I don't think it ever stops, does it? And it's just a beautiful moment. All the way through this game, he has visions of his wife, Faye. This is the longest vision, isn't it? This one, where a lot of stuff's explained and stuff. In these visions, Kratos is really quiet around Faye, isn't he? And she makes light on that as well. She takes the piss out of him about it.
I love that she calls him Grumbles.
Grumbles,
that's just fucking adorable.
I think this is why he loved her so much. Because look how calm he is around her, how quiet, how just relaxed he is around her. And I think that's the final little flashback he has to her, doesn't he? Little dream sequence. And again, how in a gameplay, in a game design, there's no cutaways into that dream. You're still watching him. He closes his eyes. You're still watching it, and they're pulled back from the tent, and you're not in the tent anymore. It's so fucking sensational.
I love the way the very first dream happens. It's like early on in the game after the prologue, like Kratos falls asleep. And you just see a hand come around his chest.
Yes.
And like wakes him up. Like it's so well
But you see what the camera does?
The
The camera turns so it looks like he's stood up then.
Yeah.
And he just keeps walking. Oh my God, it's so good. But yeah, that's basically the final sleep before the actual war. We go into Tyr's Temple, the Bifrost, the original one, because because the temple on Asgard has been destroyed. We knew that from the first game as well, consistent. They need to get in. And it happens, doesn't it? The Ragnarok kicks in. The big war.
Yes.
It's not as big as a spectacle as I expected.
Oh,
I'll be really honest.
But it's more you're kind of down in the trenches more than anything, isn't it? You're not
bit of espionage,
observing it from a distance.
Yeah, a bit of World War I where you're just running through, like you said, running through the trenches, getting through. Few little encounters, mini bosses. Sindri's not turned up yet. What's happening with the dwarfs portal? Sindri then turns up and says, I've fashioned this with his lovely armor to turn off the siege engines, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And then you're let loose to be unlimited bear for a while. I did really enjoy that. That's really fat. Unlimited bear is one of my favourite modes. Even though he can turn into a wolf and stuff like that, I think unlimited bears, because it never run down. Even on hardest difficulty, it didn't run down. You could just and the enemies respawn if you let them. So
always enjoyed a bit of bear time.
Yeah. Then we see Ragnarok, the embodiment, turn up, and then Jormungandr turns up as well. And what does Thor do?
Them fight.
They fight. What does Thor do to Jormungandr though?
Sends him back in time.
He sends him back in time. That's right. So the prophecy's correct in something. He fucking knocks him back in time. Yeah. Fuck off. Proper dad move. Fuck off.
Yeah. We get that kind of reveal that the Odins put the people of Midgar up and
that's what they were there for, weren't they?
Yeah, they were the cannon fodder to basically slow the Kratos' forces down.
Yeah.
And that's also when Thrud comes into it and actually sees what her grandfather is capable of. And that
because she loved him up throughout this, didn't she? She trusted him.
Yeah, she trusted Odin, and that's kind of like the Sif like pointing out to her, no, this is what your granddad's like.
Yeah, I mean, a few hours earlier, I did skip over it, but we saw the scene in the pub in the tavern where she
I did enjoy the
sees
tavern
her
brawl.
dad become what she hates about her dad and stuff. So we were seeing inklings of her leaving the Aesir, weren't we? Like thinking, you know what? And Sif, I think that was final straw for Sif as well.
Yeah.
I
very
can't
much
deal
so.
with this. I'm in a toxic relationship. My father-in-law's an absolute prick. I'm done. My daughter's not safe. I've lost my 2 sons. You know what I mean? And them 2 are out.
But going back to the bit where the Midgardians get pummeled, it's also a moment for Kratos to say to Atreus, this is the cost of war. That's the sacrifices have to be made, and this is just part of it. This is what war brings you, and he ran straight into war.
I don't know how much you do know of the past games, Candy, but Kratos destroyed Greece completely.
Yeah, I knew that.
He flooded Greece by killing Poseidon. He destroyed mountains by killing Zeus and killed all the Titans. So he's seen how you. That's why he's in Scandinavia, because he's got nowhere else to fucking be. He literally destroyed Greece completely. So he's seen this. He's massacred millions for the sake of prophecy and stuff like this and war.
I did enjoy that moment between Kratos and Atreus as well, where he says, like, you have a kind heart, open it to the suffering of others.
Yeah.
Yes, which is unlike him as well.
Well, because that's then cementing that lesson of going on. It's like, you don't need to be strong, you need to be better.
Be better.
And it's like, you can be better than me by opening your heart to the suffering of others, because Kratos can't do that.
There's a bit where, when you're playing as later on in the game, when you've completed the game, I'm jumping a little bit, when you get Freya as your main side character, you do some, and there's a bit where Mimir, Freya, and Kratos talk about how they feel that Atreus is lucky for learning the lessons that Kratos took 400 years to learn. Atreus has learned it in 14 years. You know what I mean? It's like, he's going to be a better person and a better god for knowing this. And I really love that. There's a lot of stuff like that in the end game where they're just inconsequential dialogue. It's fantastic. But yeah, we go in. We then get to Asgard's city centre. I don't know what it's called. The Longhouse. And we have the game boss, the actual computer game boss.
Well, you fight Thor first.
Yeah, but it's kind of that's just one of those. Yeah,
it's not an easy fight, that second one against Thor.
It is a spectacle boss though, isn't it? It's
a spectacle boss, but it is hard because he's chucking a lot of area of effect attacks.
It's tough, and
he's
Mjolnir
like raging out a lot of the area.
Mjolnir seems to have homing fucking mode on it as well. But then
do you notice that for Mjolnir as well, though, using the kind of the Avengers sound pack?
Yeah.
It's on loan from the Marvel collection.
Clinks and clonks. Yeah, and then we have the actual video game boss, don't we? And the Odin
after Odin kills his son.
Yes, kills his son
because Kratos stops the fight and goes, "No,
I'm not going to kill him
for our children."
Yeah,
and
fuck him. That's what he's like.
Thor kind of takes it to heart and goes, "No, I can be better for my child." And then Odin just appears and stabs him through the chest and goes, "You were always weak."
Doesn't Thrud see this as well?
Yeah, and then
that's the straw that breaks the camel back, in it.
Odin uses Mjolnir, doesn't he? Was it Mjolnir?
Yeah. He does beam Thrud in the head with the Mjolnir as well. I think that would kind of maybe put her off her granddad.
Yeah, he knocks her fucking flying, doesn't he? He knocks her absolutely flying.
Into a fucking mountain.
Yeah.
I think the moment where Kratos spared Thor was the moment the prophecy fully changed. Because, he chose to spare him. Like Mimir was saying, this isn't who you want to be. This isn't, this is going to cause exactly what you don't want. And the moment he did finally spare Thor, that was the moment that Odin came in and stabs him. And you see the prophecy come to life. But it's, no, wait, we've got the Odin boss first.
This is what I'm saying. This is the video game boss. It's my least favourite boss in the game. I would have been happy if we didn't fight Odin in this game.
I would have been happy if we had the second Odin fight rather than both of them.
I don't like the bit where the platforms were going up and down.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. That I didn't like. That was very video gamey. The actual when you get kind of underground with him.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
That fight was great.
Yeah, that's just cool. That's just a cool spectacle. I don't like where Odin's charging his magic up and you can see the ground going red. I'm like, this is a video game boss. I didn't want this. I didn't want him to be that kind of. It
was one of the easiest bosses, I thought, because the mechs were just so
dull.
obvious.
Yeah, he was so dull, and the ground was going up and down. Why would that happen? Do you know what I mean? Why would it ever happen? Oh, it's just weird.
Gravity magic?
Yeah, why not? Also, in the background, they had been talking about Odin making these warriors, these dead warriors as well. A little bit of a nod to the real thing where Odin's army, the Aesir army, they weren't compliant at all, were they?
No.
None of them. They were just reforged. That's why in the first game, a lot of hell was backed up as well, because Odin wanted to gather a lot of these unwanted souls and turn them back into these, I forgot what they call them again, these thralls or something. That was pretty cool. But yeah, we get another boss with Odin, like you said. The second one's a lot better. And then we get the moment, which I thought the game was going to give me a choice.
What you mean, Atreus' choice?
Yeah, we don't get a choice.
Choose to go with Odin or choose to go with Kratos.
If the game would have given you a choice, guys, would you have looked into the all-knowingness? Would you have
No,
seen?
because I think as soon as you kind of put that mask together and opened the vent, Odin would have just betrayed you.
Would you have looked?
There was nothing true about what Odin was saying there.
She'd
I
have looked.
I
She's whispering.
really wanted him to look.
Would you have safe scummed it?
Yeah. Oh, of course.
See what happens.
You got to peek behind the veil, haven't you?
I think they should have done that, but then again, they'd have had to cut the game as well, wouldn't they? Which is against their ethos. So yeah, this is again, I think, another break-in character for Atreus. He's like, nah, fuck that. Odin's face when it stops it happening is perfect, isn't it?
It's brilliant.
Oh, there's Panabang! The actual mafia boss turns up, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Fucking, that's it. There he is. Oh, fucking Tony Scaglione. Do you know what I mean? He's kicking in.
Scaglione.
He's kicking in. He is fucking fuming. But luckily, our band of merry men and Freya, female Freya, she's got other ideas. And she gives him a little choke, doesn't she?
Yeah.
He says, like you said, I always loved you. And then they decide to spare him, don't they? Until...
So Atreus kind of sucks his soul out and puts it into one of the empty marbles.
Yeah.
And they say, you know, they're all ruminating on it, going, no, he's not going to get out of there. We'll just let him stew in there for a while until Sindri just kind of appears, picks it up, puts it on the table, and
smashes it with his hammer.
And then fucks off.
If you're not going to do it, this is mine. This is mine.
And then he just blips out. And to be fair, that was a fucking baller move.
Yeah.
This is when Sindri entered the upper echelons and my favourite characters.
Oh, yeah.
After that
absolute
little moment.
Badass in that
It's like,
moment.
yes, mate. And all this takes its toll on Atreus, doesn't he? Blacks out or something like that. I can't remember.
No, so fucking Ragnarok smashes through.
That's it.
He's trying to help Freya, isn't
he? Yeah.
Freya dies from fighting Ragnarok, doesn't
he? Freya holds Ragnarok back.
Gets killed.
Just as in time, Angrboda and the good boy open up a portal and they kind of all escape out of it while Freya gives his life so they can go, well, Ragnarok continues to destroy Asgard.
Yeah, which is the prophecy. It happened. The Aesir are no more in that realm. We wake up. One of the Valkyries says, "Oh, I'm glad you're back." Then you have a really slow plod to see all your friends again, don't you? For one final time.
Yeah.
You speak to people. Sif and Thrud, for instance, they say that they were going to try and help the Midgardians. Do you know what I mean? Big actual...
and help settle the Aesir on...
Yeah, because they remain...
wherever they're going.
The innocents. To be benevolent gods rather than just fucking whatever Odin wants them to do. You see everybody, you speak to everyone you've ever met. And then you see your dad. You see Kratos. And you go have a little walk, don't you?
Yep.
I did not see this coming. So you walk up, you see the final billboard, whatever. Shrine. Yeah. You get some revelations. But the main thing I want to discuss at this bit is I didn't think Because by this point, he wants to be Loki. I didn't think Loki wanted to fuck off on his own. I didn't see it. I didn't see it coming.
I think I did.
I kind of saw it coming.
Really?
Because there's
Didn't you
so
think
much
he-
foreshadowing of him saying, people saying to him, you've become, you're a man now, you've made your own path, and it's time to do your own thing,
Yeah.
especially with his partnership with Angraboda as well.
Yes, and she turns up, doesn't she, and she's whispering to him and talking to him. And then
Yeah,
this is
but
the moment.
It's also his desire to rescue the giants. He wants his people back.
He wants his people back, which is
Or he
understandable.
wants to know his people, because he's never really known his people aside
Yeah.
from his mother.
It's a benevolent
So-
cause.
Yeah, and he's grown up enough now to survive by himself. So I think he sees that as his calling, not
Yeah.
a calling that Kratos needs.
He's
to be
basically
involved.
now leaving Pallet Town to go on a Pokemon adventure on his own.
Yes.
He's got little Pokeballs on him. It's time to go, isn't
Yeah.
it? And fly the nest. And this is the moment where Kratos is just stood there watching. We're back in Kratos' vision. He's stood there watching him, talking to Angraboda, and this is where his cheeks are wobbling.
Yeah, he's crying
Yeah.
as well. Did you notice
He's
that?
crying. He's
Oh my
fucking crying.
God.
He's crying, and he's
Well,
crying
he's-
because he knows he's going to say, "Go on, piss off."
Mm. And he knows he's ready.
Then and then he goes and looks around the back of the shrine, and there's a second shrine,
Yes, because
and he opens it up, and he sees the bit which actually sets him off full on crying. Which
Yeah.
Yeah.
that got me.
you will be a
Uh,
loved God. You are loved.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's like the first time he's had hope in his life to be anything but a mass murder machine.
Yeah.
Than a God of War. Yeah, you can be this benefactor of good. Because do you know what's quite funny? Like when Atreus jumps off, Loki runs out. He just jumps and climbs up a rock, doesn't he? See ya. And it's like I think they know they're going to see each other again, which is going to be for a very long time, But that scene where he peeks behind that thing, yeah. And I thought we were going to get a reveal. It's going to be Egypt. Do you know what I mean? I thought we were going to get something like that. But no, it's better in my opinion. It shows people worshipping him. It's never had anyone praising him or worshipping him. That's what he is. He's a god. And that's what gods are supposed to be worshipped and blah, blah, blah. And he walks out of the cave, he talks to Freya and he says, "Would you join me?" And then the end game kicks in and that's it.
Yeah, so this is where I've played up to. I haven't played the point beyond these credits.
Have you not? Oh, so you haven't gone to the actual credits then?
No, because it was again time stuff.
Well, it's a spoiler cast, so I'm going to have to just discuss. I'm not going to tell you what. So you go to the funeral, basically.
Yeah, I know that bit. Yeah,
Yeah, you go to the funeral. You get told that Brock's having a funeral. This is proper epilogue stuff, innit? This is like after credits scene, even though it's technically not. You go to Brock's funeral and you think, oh, everyone's going to be happy and stuff. And Cindy just says, nah. I'm fucking you've. This is a step too far for me. A threshold that it'll never be repaired. And this is deeper, I think, than Freya and Balder. Him killing. I think this is. He walks past Kratos, and have you seen him shaking his hand in a fist as he walks past? He knows he can't do anything. He looks up at him, and he blips out, and that's it. That's the game.
Yeah.
And
it's so hard to feel happy and feel like that you've completed everything and the world's at peace when that's how it ends.
Have you done all the other side stuff then, Candy?
No, that's the only one I've done.
Because there is, I will not spoil that out of courtesy to the rest of the stuff, especially with like the creator and stuff like that. There are hints to what the next game will be, and I'm not going to mention that. There's reasons to complete the other stuff. Trust me.
I want to know where the actual tier was the whole time.
You'll find out.
Oh.
You'll find out. Yeah, that's there, and it was in your face. How long? I'll say this: you meet him and you talk to him.
Oh, Could have joined in, couldn't he? Really?
No,
he used him.
Not when you meet. Not when you meet him and you find out where he's been.
Oh dear.
But yeah, that is worth really doing because that should have been where the game ended, in my opinion. Because it's such a random thing that you could miss unless you have that mission on you.
Do you know what? It really feels like after the story, you've still got at least half the game left to do.
Especially with the creator as well. That's fucking it's massive. You don't understand. It's massive. I don't think you quite understand. There's like 17 bosses in this crater.
Oof.
Big bosses. It's fucking huge. And then there's all the other realms. You got to find real Tyr. You've got to find certain things. You've got to, because the elves had a truce. That's kicked off again. Truce is not stuck. There's so much to do. There's more weapons that you don't expect. There's allusions to what the next game's going to be. There's ultimate armors for everyone. And there's also Gunnar, the new Valkyrie Queen.
Oh.
Boss fight, which makes the other Valkyrie boss fights in the last game seem like a piece of cake.
Oh, fuck that
by
then.
by far, one of the hardest bosses I've ever done. Again, I won brutal difficulty. Probably took me about 20, 25 times to beat. And I was at max stats, max health, max armor class. I'd done all the trials of Muspelheim. And I still fucking struggled.
I get you to take over my PS5 and we do it online and you do it for me.
I can do that for you, man. I can do it for you. You're on an easy setting as well.
Yeah, I am. I'm on Give Me Grace.
Yeah, I had that weird glitch that happened where you couldn't change your difficulty setting. But yes, that is God of War Ragnarok. Final thoughts, guys.
So I think the most powerful scene, and we didn't linger on it that long, but the most powerful scene was when they were in the tent and Kratos was telling the story, and you just think, well, maybe he is going to go, but he's ready. You know, he thinks he's going to go. He thinks he's going to die, and he's trying to tell.
He does finish that story on the way up to the last bit, doesn't he?
But it could have. The game makes you think. You know, he thinks he's going to die. He's ready to go, and he's made his peace with it. And that's the one scene that really that one got me crying. That's the scene that got me.
Yeah, same.
And we haven't talked about Ratatoska.
Because I despised Ratatoska.
I love Ratatoska almost as much as I love Bitter Squirrel.
Bitter Squirrel's cool.
Yeah.
Love Bitter Squirrel.
That's what I mean. But I loved Ratatoska. I thought it was well funny. It's so like unexpected. There's such more sort of. You
haven't done all his missions though.
No, I haven't.
That's when you'll start to hate him.
Oh.
Oh, it's so fucking. Oh.
But I think that was kind of a bold move, even having that in there, because it was such a kind of departure from anything in 2018, like such more kind of like
the Pixar moment.
Yeah, more of a comedy moment.
Yeah, and we didn't mention the stuff where the Nidhogg babies. You've got to go find the Nidhogg babies. It's not like Muppet babies either.
Found one by accident.
There's a great side quest with one of the jellyfish. Did you ever do that?
I did that one, yeah. I did get that one.
Yeah, there's a few more of them jellyfishes. There's the wolves. That's main story though, isn't it? Where the wolves signify the start of Ragnarok, where the
chasing
wolf eats the sun.
Yeah, they catch the sun and they catch the moon.
Yeah. There was a really great little side moment thing that I got because you can change the time of day with the shrine things and that. I fucked it up and I went back to the moon again, and Freya said, "What are you doing? We need to be in the daylight for this." And Kratos just sits there and goes, "I wanted to see the wolves again."
yeah. It's so good. There's more to them wolves in the end game as well. Now, I will say that the end game stuff, and especially if you guys left loads of side quests, it's probably another 10 to 15 hours of gameplay. It's fucking massive. It could have been one game, you know what I mean?
Well, I was feeling quite bereft after I finished the story, so I'm glad it might see me over Christmas.
Candy. I can't wait for you to actually post in our Discord and mention the crate and go, oh, you weren't kidding. It's huge. It's bigger than Midgard in first game.
God.
It's just massive. It's absolutely stunningly massive. Dragons. Do you know why you missed all these big spectacle dragon fights? They're in there. Yeah. They're just after the story.
Because they're not to put another couple of them during the fucking story.
Yeah, all these big monsters are in there.
There's going to be a lot of people that miss this because they're getting to the end of the story and that's it. They put the game back.
In this crater,
huge.
This crater biome as well, there's a persistent enemy like a nemesis, which is a centaur type thing.
Oh, well, that crops up during the story.
Does it? Oh,
yeah. That thing it
goes a bit
further 3 or 4 times.
It goes a bit further on in the crater anyways. It's fucking crazy. You're getting hunted by it slowly and stuff, and you've got to hunt it back. And there's so many puzzles to do, and there's Oh, there's a boss down there that fucking hell, Shadow of the Colossus style. I can't believe they've done what From Software do, where they hide some of the massive areas. Just it's not on the main path. It's very brave. They'll not make DLC for this game because it's already in there. It's already in there. But another moment I like to mention is some of the Easter eggs that it's got in there. Like, did you get the inconsequential dialogue where Kratos mentions how he was in PlayStation All Stars and Mortal Kombat?
Got that one. Yeah, I got that one. Did you read any of the poetry?
Yes, I read some of the poetry.
Which all references all PlayStation games.
Yeah, I did. And there's the one about being on a steed, which is Days Gone.
Oh, actually, when you pick up one of the poetry books, and I think it's where the jellyfish thing is, it's got Astro on the front.
Yep, it has. Yep. There's quite a few. There's a scene in the library. I don't know if you did the library. In Alfheim, there's an elven library that's got so much lore in there. You can just literally go around and let Mimir tell you about the history of the elves and stuff like that. You'll like that if you like Alfheim. Really good bits.
I don't think I did that one.
Oh, there's so much game that you've not done. But I think you've done it in the right way. I think you should do this at the end.
Yeah, that's. I kind of wanted to get the story done then. Because it's like I did with the last God of War. Like I did through the story and then I went through the side content afterwards because I'm keen on getting the story. Plus, also, Pip was watching. It's kind of.
There's also
it's not really fair. It's not really fair for a backseat gamer to sit there while I go side questing for. 10 hours.
No, it's not. There's also a massive mission. I don't know if you guys did it, but where you're trying to get Freya's ultimate sword. Did you do that?
I started it, but I didn't get very far in it.
It talks about her life with Odin and the divorce and and the wedding.
I went because it started that at Freya's wedding site. I didn't follow that one too far in because again, I was just like, I need to get this finished so we can do this fucking spoiler cast. So
and you can go back to Jotunheim as well and do some stuff over there as Kratos rather than as boy. Because he never went.
Well, yeah, because there's a lot of stuff hidden there that you need the spear to access, or that you need the blades of chaos to burn through and stuff like that.
Yeah, go talk to Grandma again.
You really want to?
Oh yes, but yeah, it's a sensational game. Again, I'm a bit like Gadget. I think there's a lot of bloat in there. It's a lot of bang for your buck though, because there's loads more game after you've beat it. Like I've said.
You do. There is a lot to the game. Like it's good value for money. The problem is that's just my main criticism. I think there is not enough creativity in the enemies or the encounter design in some places.
No,
like the size of the levels would be fine if if there was more variety of enemies to deal with, or more challenges with enemies.
I am with you with the big bosses as well. I mean, it feels like I did fight loads of monstrous beasts, but that's because I did everything. You know what I mean? I did later on after the game. And that's where I don't understand why they backload all that. I think it's a straight. I've spoken to people that have beat it, and they've gone, I didn't even know the crater was an area. I didn't know this was this or this, that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It definitely needs to. It definitely needed a kind of a bit of a shuffling around of things in there. Because, like I say, the Nithog fight is fucking incredible. It's one of my favorite boss fights of all time.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
But it's one of the only ones that really sticks in my mind.
Yeah, like in the first one, the dragon one where you fight with the electric, when you first get the electric powers, and you pull its fucking tooth out and stuff.
Oh, God, I hated that boss. I loved it, but it was spicy.
Well, there's a mission and the end game where you've got to kill 4 different dragons again, like you did in the first one, and they're all beautiful spectacles. And it fascinates me how they can do how AAA games now have got the budget to hide things from people that.
Yeah,
I think it's majestic. But overall, I want to get your final thoughts. I want to get your score. You know, I love a score, and be brutal.
I'd mark it down as a 9 out of 10.
Yeah,
I think it's an excellent game. It's not perfect, but it is a very good ending to that story. I think. I enjoyed the character. I think it was one of those games where definitely the narrative is the king in it. It is not. The narrative is not really well supported by the gameplay.
It's not.
The gameplay is fine. The gameplay is last gen gameplay. You know, bear in mind we're in a year with Elden Ring, which took last gen gameplay and amped it up with something.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like, I think gameplay wise, I think they could have. It needed something a little extra squeezed out of it, but that's me nitpicking on something I love. I still love the game,
and you haven't fully finished it yet.
Yeah, like don't take my criticisms as anything but other than like, I want the best for my boy. You know.
Yeah, I can't. I can't wait while everyone's done everything that I've done, and that kind of discourse gets discussed, and people are going to be like, "Oh my god, we know what the next game's going to be," because somehow it's not on the internet yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I haven't seen any of this shit.
It's brilliant. I'm not going to tell you where and what, but it's fucking good. It's going to be good. Candy,
yeah.
Your final thoughts and score.
Yeah, I'm with Gadget. I would give it a 9, whereas I would probably give 2018 a 9.5. And it's just, everything's just more epic. And like you said, 2018 was just a prelude to what happens in this game. Like I said at the beginning.
Tutorial, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a little bit bloated. It could have been chopped down to, what was it, like 30 hours? It could have been a good 20, 25, like Gadget said. But it is very difficult to find too much fault with it. You know,
I think it will change how AAA games are made now. Massively. How these massive budget companies can create something, again, backload stuff, hide stuff, have things to continue. This shows that DLC is not necessarily a thing that you need to do. The game sold stupidly well. It gives you a reason.
5 million units in its first week.
Yeah.
And it's on one console.
It gives you a reason to own a console.
Yeah. It's the first of the proper PS5 games, although ironically I do know it's out on the PS4 as well, but it's the first one to really showcase the PS5's potential.
I would be interested to see how it does run on a PS4. I don't know.
Apparently it runs quite well. It's just it's 30 frames a second and it's locked at 1080p.
Well, that sounds disgusting though, nowadays.
You're probably spoiled by 4K 60, aren't you?
I fucking am, man. I fucking am. But yeah, ultimately I'd give it a 10 actually, because it did everything I want in a game. It was huge, and I like a big, huge game. It is bloated in the story. I enjoyed the game more after the story ended, because I got the story beats that I wanted after. My favourite parts of these games are the inconsequential dialogue when you're walking around with Freya and Mimir. They're my three new favourite trio. I prefer Freya and Kratos over Atreus and Kratos, because they're not family. And I think it's nice to have a male protagonist and a female protagonist, and they are not romantically linked in any way, shape, or form. They fucking despise each other. They hate each other.
I thought this about the previous game, but it's also nice that you have Freya, a goddess who is entirely not sexualized. Yeah. She is strong because she's strong. That is her reason to be. She's not tits and arse to look at.
Yeah. I think it builds upon the last game perfectly. It's weird to say that they're two separate games because they don't feel like two separate games. Again, feels like one big saga, and that's the perfect way to describe it, because it's Norse, it's Scandinavian. It feels like an epic saga, an ode, a poem to this. I can tell you now, we're not going to see Scandinavia again in this series. No. It's done.
But where would you like Kratos' road trip to turn up next?
I know where it's going. That's the thing. Do you want to tell you?
Yeah, sure.
We're going to China.
Oh.
Ooh, China would be interesting.
I think most people would have guessed Egypt.
I thought that, but that civilization was long gone by this time.
I was fancying a bit of Japanese.
Well, that's it's Eastern.
Some pre-feudal Japanese. Thank you very much.
We're going Shinto and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? There's a lot of explanation as to why in the post-game stuff. He's done with Scandinavia. Also, literally, Kratos uprights and says, "We're off east. We're going east."
Do you think that Atreus will get his own game?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you think? I think it would. It's going to go on, two tangents where they might sort of cross over every now and again.
Oh, fucking hell. Atreus is off to Egypt, by the way.
Oh. Nice.
Yeah, they're going separate ways. So, yeah. It's going to be magical. If they're brave enough, they won't call it God of War, Atreus' game.
No.
Call it like Loki or something like that. Or, do you know what I mean? They'll give it another name. I think this is 2 separate IPs at this point now. I think they could easily do that.
Yeah.
I think the next game will be an older Loki. More late teens, early 20s. Kratos will be out fucking wondering. We'll see in about 5 years' time, we'll see a trailer of a man skulking out of some bamboo forests. And he'll take a straw hat off and it'll be Kratos' head. And he'll have a racist Fu Manchu mustache. It'll be in bad taste, and then we'll see a Loki sliding down a pyramid. Because for some reason, games you can slide down pyramids, even though they're just steps.
The pyramids were originally smooth.
I thought they were just steps. Well, the steps now, aren't they?
They are now.
The steps
yeah.
now, yeah. But no, when they were built, they were smooth.
Oh well, that's good then. That's good. But yeah,
the stone that made it smooth is all pillaged away.
Oh, over thousands of years. Yeah, I think it's sensational. It's a craft that you see every 4 or 5 years. Sony Santa Monica are the studio to watch out for.
I don't think they're to watch out for. I think they're the one to beat.
Yeah, I think Naughty
Like,
Dog have seen this and gone, fuck.
Yeah, set a high bar for narrative adventures.
How can you?
I think.
Go on.
I think this is where Santa Monica have the edge on Naughty Dog. Naughty Dog do brilliant work, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But Naughty Dog are divesting their time also trying to do multiplayer modes and shit like that.
Yes.
Like Santa Monica are just focused on telling a really fucking good story with a lot of side content.
Yeah. I would like to see him have a rest for a bit and do a new IP, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, I think they're going to probably milk this franchise. Like, if they're in a position where they can get all this money from Sony to do one game every 5 years, I think they're content.
It stops them needing to crunch and really kill themselves doing it, doesn't it? If they can craft. I think we won't. I don't think we'll see it on this generation.
Yeah. I'd be fine enough not to have it on this generation.
Yeah.
I mean, also bear in mind that they have done one game that has not been God of War.
Yeah, with Twisted Metal.
No, Kinetica? It's a racing game on the PS2.
I'm sure they did Twisted Metal as well, but they might not have been called Sony Santa Monica then.
No, they did external development with
there you go.
So they kind of they
Yeah.
hired out some of their staff to work on them.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were involved with 3 of the Twisted Metal games. But yeah, apart from the games they've developed in-house, from 2005 to now, is all been God of War.
Yeah. There you go. And as recording this, we found out that it has got some Game of the Year awards, didn't it? Not the Game of the Year award.
It didn't get Game of the Year awards at the Game Awards.
Yeah,
that went to Elden Ring.
It got loads of shit though, didn't it? It won most of it.
So the Game Awards, it got Best Narrative,
Yep.
Best Score for Bear McCreary, Best Audio Design, Best Performance for Christopher Judge, Best Action Adventure, and Innovation and Accessibility.
Mm.
At the Titanium Awards, it got Game of the Year and Best Narrative Design.
Fuck.
It's been nominated in the Golden Joysticks for Ultimate Game of the Year and Best Performer.
I think it's got. I think someone I read on Twitter. Do you know the video game BAFTAs or whatever they're called?
BAFTAs, yeah.
Yeah, it's up for it's like Bucky's favourite as well. Because
Probably
there's a
will
bit
be,
more
yeah.
narrative based than like an Elden Ring, isn't it? Those kind of awards.
I mean, but also Elden Ring's been nominated for Best Narrative in a lot of things
Great
as well.
narrative. But yeah, I think
We've just got to find the fucker.
We've been spoilt for amazing games this year as well. But
It's been a good year for gaming.
yeah. But this one is a lovely like tip of the hat at the end of the year. I don't think nothing touches this now. There's a few games out now.
Actually, the critical question that I have for Candy on this one is, which is better for you, God of War Ragnarok?
I knew you were going to ask me that. Straight.
There you go.
She likes cats.
She likes the funny cat game.
Yeah, I love Stray as well. But yeah, thank you for
Actually, so do I.
for joining us on this Odyssey. I did, like I say, I had the synopsis for everything here, but I'd have still been reading the synopsis now. It's 7 pages long. And
Yeah,
again,
it's a long story.
I got things wrong and the wrong way around, but ultimately, you know that we loved it. As patrons, it's not even patrons, it's for everyone, isn't it, this one?
Yeah, it goes out first for patrons.
If you've got anything to discuss on this, feel free to let us know later on. We'll discuss it on the main podcast if you've got anything to say about it. Because I know a lot of you are going to listen to this months and months later because it takes you fucking ages to complete games. Because you've got proper lives.
It is actually, sorry, just to interrupt. It is actually typifying of it. I just looked up God of War Ragnarok all cutscenes on YouTube.
Yep.
15 and a half hours.
Okay, it only took me 28 hours to beat the game.
So I think it's 7.5 hours for the core story, but then 15 hours overall for like all the side stuff as well.
Oh my God. Took me 28 hours to platinum it. Fuck me. Wow. But yeah, fantastic game. I look forward to what this studio have next. And thanks for listening to this meandering tale of Norse mythology. We hope to see you in 7 years' time when we do a spoiler cast for the next game in the franchise. God of War
Stories Atreus.
Yeah, God of War Stories Atreus, or God of War Land of the Rising Sun, or whatever it wants to be called.
They're not going to call it that.
No, they're not either. They're going to call it something poignant. Journey to the East. I don't know. But yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. And we hope you have a great new year. Or whenever you're listening to this, we hope we've had a good new year. Goodbye. Thanks, Candy. Thanks, Gadget. Bye.
Bye.
What the fuck are you waiting for?
Your daughter. My son calls her friend.
If you try to hurt her...
I would not.
Don't you know what I've done?
Yes! But what will you do now?
We don't change. Or destroy us.
No more. No more. For the sake of our children, we must be better.